Hello. Oh God. The it's healthy. Hello, everybody. I'm feeling blue. Just kidding. I'm tying this knot right here. Get out. Get out. Let's go see my bird friends while they forage for food. Yeah! I emerge. Good morning. What's this button do? Oh. I don't know. Do I look like I've aged? This is what it looks like in the morning now. I've done no work on the property whatsoever since the storm. I haven't even done anything over here. But at the very least, I have all these tiles. I have plastic Temu tiles, and I have those things right here and here. I did clean the shit up the other day. I didn't mean to leave it public. Whoops. It is what it is. I'm surprised I only lost one sub. I hope it's my fucking mom. I'm gonna take a piss now on this mouse's house. The bird has not come back to his nest since I bugged him. Let's make sure you can't see me piss. Hello, everybody. I'm taking a whiz. And I want to tell you, living in the country is horrible. They all play power games, and they're willing to rape you to keep their power. They'll do anything they can, including coming to the edge of the property there and just revving their car engine on drugs until I feel that they've torn my energy from me. Other notable mentions after I tried to hold that officer accountable for beating an unarmed woman after manufacturing a crime, to turn her beating into a public lynching and use it as propaganda that the whole community liked. Addly doodly. Somebody joined. So I made them scroll away. Fuck it, I'm not leaving the property today anyway. I might as well have this, my last cigarette butt. You guys ever get PT? Do you guys have PTSD from weed? You guys ever smoke and it feels like weed and it triggers the memory of every panic attack you've ever had from weed? Starts to vibrate some of your brain hemisphere that's been doled out by the Matrix, and you get that green, weird plant feeling in your throat like it's trying to turn you into a plant. And then you start to panic because you think nothing is real, or is that just me? You guys ever ingest a plant that makes you operate outside of the space? Oh, look. Don't fucking fly away, pussy. Hello. I'm like your godfather. You're pregnant, aren't you? I see you. I know what a pregnant Robin looks like now. And we are friends. I'm a family friend at this point. There's the dad. I can tell because that one's fucking huge and that one's not. And they always they're hanging out together, bro. Hopefully they will come back. But I think they moved their nest because I was being loud. But they have been occasionally at like noon. They go in and add a little bit more to the nest. So I'm not really sure. I'd hope. Eventually to see multiple, like 5 or 6 families of robins in there. I pray for justice. Can everyone pray that Casey gets justice? I saw my first brown recluse the other day. It was hiding on my shorts that I left hanging. I have no reason to go into town. I have 2 more full portable batteries. Let's clip that. I clipped that. I think I just want to go back to bed. I want to change. Oh, there's a new bird. I've never seen that one before. It's not a woodpecker, but it's not a blue jay either. It's not a robin. Its flight patterns are different. One time there was an eagle up here. I was just walking around out here and I threw something and I heard a whoa, whoa, whoa. And I look up and the biggest bird I've ever seen in my fucking life. Completely black, which is what young eagles look like. Young eagles are black and then they break their fucking beak and they get bald. And it was right above me in this big old tree right here. Look at that. That's incredible. It's fucking incredible. It's fucking incredible, eh? One day it's probably gonna fall. These trees look too big to have roots supporting it, because I know the roots must have gone under this cabin in order for it to. Well, if I'm being fair, there's no way that this cabin is older than this tree, which means that they probably built the cabin over the roots. But if it one day if it decides to fall or lightning strikes it, I'm dead. Everything would have been for nothing. I'm almost out of cheese. I've been cooking quesadillas. At nighttime, I wait and cook quesadillas. I'm saving my last bag of ravioli. I'm sure my eggs have gone bad. I'm not here to stay and wait for content. I'm really having trouble finding motivation to do anything at this point because I just don't like. I feel like everything I do is in service to humanity somehow. Like, my brain is just wired that the only thing that feels good enough to do. I also found this bad bitch the other day. The only thing that feels good enough to do is if I figured out perfection and I get closer to it every day. And for the most part, it's like they keep me in the state of cognitive dissonance that when I break free of, suddenly sirens go off, crows start screaming, and I'm violently attacked in the past. He's pretending to be a bird, but he was just he was staring me down while I'm walking around. Then I looked at him, and then he started looking away, cleaning himself. But then when I look away, I can see out of the corner of my eye he doesn't clean himself. It must be something to do with threading the weavings of the universe as these birds transfer data between the trees. The way he's tapping on his chest. Maybe not. Bird left to right behind the bird I was staring at. I don't know. 2 people. What the hell? 2 people showed up during my monologue, man. Who the fuck enters my neck of the forest? I'm just here having a conversation with a bird. Let's get you a close-up. I don't know if service is good out here. What's up, Heather? Is the bit rate good enough, or is it really choppy and pixelated? I don't know how good my service is here. Goodbye, bird. Whoa! Let's look at this bird and see what he's doing. Eventually, I don't know what I'm going to do with all these. There's a rake I bought, and I have a shovel up there. Where'd he go? Where'd you go, bitch? Crows haven't bothered me at all. It's pretty cool. Let's take another stroll through. The plan is to sleep and then wake up, take a shovel, and just start throwing all this shit out. I'll leave this open for the robin. And then goes in there. I do have a trash bag now, but I am just going to take it all this stuff I'm just going to take it by the shovel, take it all out here, and I'll either put it there where I like to poop when it was very cold out, or I started clearing out down here. Bird. I cleared out that area. Bird right to left. So I'll probably do that. Let's look at these trees again. They're fucking big ones. I don't know what to do, but at the very least, I think I'm gonna plant an emperor tree, a Japanese maple emperor, and I'll plant it next to this big one behind there. And then eventually, I would love to clear out all this. This is where the rainwater goes and it makes a big pond. So I would dig more of this so that every time it rains, I could start putting in the water for a pond right here. Make the water come in longer, which invites more birds and dragonflies to eat all the mosquitoes. And then I'll just put netting on everything so they can't get in. Then I'd like to take all this, like all these fallen trees, stack them up on the edge there. I have a plan. I'm working with ChatGPT for some really cool stuff. once I have some type of income somehow. My next big purchase, if I were to get money, I've been thinking about train tickets and plane tickets, a passport, going down that route, leave the country, travel, get the fuck away from the people that hurt me. Oh, I guess not. Robin left to right in front of me. It flew right in front of my eyes. So maybe not get away from the people that hurt me yet. Passport? Well, the other thing I wanted to do was buy saplings for trees. Would be really cool. But eventually I'd love to get hedges. I think it's called arborvitae. And start putting hedges in around there. Hauling a bunch of stones from the river that's like 15 acres that way through the forest. Haul all the stones here and keep working on this wall. Because who knows how... I've met people that have memories of hanging out at this cabin 60 years ago. So this cabin is roughly 100 years old. At least. Because they said it looked old and decrepit 60 years ago. Which means this is probably before World War II at least. What was I saying? Who knows what the fuck is this? I don't know what the hell this is. I'm not strong enough to haul that. Plus this. Somebody put a mattress here at one point, and then the mattress completely deteriorated and decayed. They have a mattress on this side and that side. For some reason, they put mattresses at the door. This is where I dreamt my dad was. He walked out here. There was another car seat right here, and there was a big metal pipe sticking out. And my dad fell and got impaled by it, and I tried to save him, and he died in my arms. I don't know what the hell this is. This winter, I said I was going to rake, and then my old rake, that one broke. That's why I couldn't rake these. I wanted to rake them all to prevent ticks. There is a fox, so I don't think chickens are a good idea. Unless I put the coop inside somehow where the chickens could jump in and lock it at night. I could block it completely, like the chickens go inside through the window. And then I just close the window at night so the fox can't get in. And then in the morning, I just open it and the chickens can roam free. I don't know how far the chickens will walk. If they'd end up, I don't think they would end up on other people's properties. Those are really, it's like the length of a football field in all directions. What else, man? My lentils are growing. These are lentils. These are all lentils, so I'm assuming they're all going to fight each other for resources, and then the strongest ones will fruit. That's where I leave offerings to the forest. It looks like the slugs have gotten into it. This is where I was talking to creatures at night, and I still see glowing eyes all the time. Where it's like something wants to speak to me, and I'm tuning it out. And then before I'm about to leave, I suddenly see a pair of glowing eyes beckoning me out to the forest, and I hear songs in my head like, "Don't avoid those neon lights. You don't know what's outside in the woods. I can't remember who I was before I ever lost your trust. Blah, 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 blah." And then I'll look up and see glowing eyes staring at me. Probably like from here to that tree. Who the fuck unliked? I saw that. I don't know. This is really cool. So mushrooms are transmitting their nodes for the living forest. They're conscious entities. These mushrooms. So this is like a little, this is like a village right here. I thought it would be really cool to have different. So I have that mushroom there. And then I put oyster mushrooms lining the opposite edge. And I feel, using my forest gifts, I feel the difference in their energies. Yeah. Well, I saw a video Planet Hank posted of, it was a girl sitting on the bus. The bus driver was talking shit about her, about how she looked and what she was wearing, and no good junkies taking over the town and giving her a bunch of shit. So the same way that I'm mad at society and I call them a bunch of pedophiles perpetuating an evil satanic culture, because that's how it feels when you live on this side of the white picket fence. She was saying the same thing down in Brattleboro, and somebody called it in, just like my mom, calling the police and saying, he's got grenades. And I was telling her I'm leaving. The cops showed up, already have put it in that the person was disorderly, because it's subjective and it's a loophole they use to get away with kidnapping people and torturing them in jail. So the cops showed up and did that. She didn't want to get off the bus. She was trying to protest. She was like, I'm not getting off until. But she wanted justice for how she was treated. She was trying to protest. And he was like, well, that's not going to fucking happen. Get off the bus. What a cop is trained to do is say, hey, if you're unhappy with the bus driver, you can talk to his supervisors. We'll give you their phone number as long as you get off the bus. And there are cameras here, so you can immediately go right to their station and talk to the person about getting the camera footage for the bus, if you're whatever you're unhappy with, and we can take testimonies. But you're holding up everybody on the bus and the driver who's trying to do his job. Kindness breeds kindness. But he went, that's not gonna fucking happen. Get off the fucking bus. Trying to scare her into obeying his will. So of course no homeless person is gonna do it. They're gonna do it once, and they're never going to do it again, because they're going to remember how it feels to have their power stripped from them and be dominated by somebody hiding behind qualified immunity that doesn't have any understanding about what it's like to live out here, and are completely consumed by power, pride, and prejudice. Their ego, which has turned them into vicious animals, pretending. Like, these colonizers act a lot like what they used to say about pagans. They used to say pagans were these animalistic, satanic, power-hungry people. It turns out the communities that they built after burning all those people is exactly what they warned against. I don't know. But she walked away. She was on camera. Hank was recording. She walked away. She came back. Somehow her leaving, then it jump cuts. So whatever happened, they won't show the public. Suddenly, she's on the ground. The cop is on top of her. Her legs are up, so he's like full missionary position on top of her, straddling her, crotch to crotch. One hand is on her tit, just grabbing it. The other hand is pretending to put, like, pushing her arms away, but not really grabbing them. It would be so easy to just stop and be like, stop. But instead, he's huffing and puffing. He doesn't know what to do. He's pushing her arms. Then he lets go of her arms and starts kind of grabbing her a bit too hard. He's already molested her. He won't stop. She scratches his face. Then he pushes her arms away. He punches her head into the pavement. The entire time that's happening to her. So imagine how vividly we feel things with PTSD. For her to be blindfolded and experience that, getting straddled and molested for no reason because somebody was bullying you and you tried to stand up to it. And now she's on the ground and he's doing that to her. So he must have hurt her a lot. Like there was that and she wasn't struggling. She was just like, get off me, stop. Then he did something and I watched her snap because I'm like, if we think quickly. So she must have been like, he already did enough that it would be justified. So she scratched his face, didn't scratch his eye, scratched his face. Then he punches her while she's blindfolded, punches her, her nose is bleeding. Then instead of stopping, he takes his elbow and slams it, breaks her nose. Then instead of stopping, he takes his elbow, he puts it on her eye. That cop probably weighs like 210 pounds. He like leaned his body up to put his entire body weight on the elbow and tried to push his elbow into her skull through her eye. He put his elbow right against her eye and then put his entire body on it and then leaned 200 pounds into her eye. And then they put it online for everyone to ridicule her, for her to be trespassed, for her to be targeted and abused later by people away from cameras and away from police. They doxed her so that people would find out what she looks like and where her location is. Then the local news put a hit piece out on her saying that she assaulted an officer when she was defending herself against an officer who had done something illegal. He had gone outside of the law to hurt somebody based purely off prejudice. And she defended herself, and the local news put a propaganda hit piece to, in the past, they'd done it before to somebody else who was innocent, and that guy was beaten half to death and then transported to Burlington. He didn't know how to, he was an African immigrant. He didn't know how to speak English. Homeless people told him, walk around and try car doors. Why not? Fuck them. So he went around and tried the car doors, and then they beat him half to death. And the news put out whatever they needed to put out to make that okay. They've done it to probably hundreds of people by now. It has not stopped crime at all. It's actually increased violent crime. But they don't care because the plan was never to stop crime. Planet Hank's aim is not to stop crime. Planet Hank's aim is to fuck minors, 16-year-old girls. He puts a chain on, he dyes his hair, and he goes downtown and pretends to be 30, and he tries to fuck minors. And everyone knows about it, but people online will lie and defend him. For whatever reason. He wants clout, and he does just as many drugs as the people that he records. Supposedly. What I don't like is that every time I feel like he's coming and draining my energy, suddenly I get somebody posts a video about him, and he's changed his thing to be more what I wanted to share with the world. And what did he call it? He called it the reality show about kindness and compassion. He thought that he was stealing my life force energy by spray painting over my Green Heart logos in town with his logo, by talking shit about me on the internet for the past few years, after my mom had lied to the police. And then again when she told everyone I was schizophrenic online because she was mad at me. She was sneak dissing me on her Facebook profile, and then one day she snapped and she slandered me on the internet, which caused many people to come at me and threaten to kill me for being schizo. She put my life in danger. And she put fuel on the fire for very sick people that didn't like me because of their own insecurities, and now they finally had a way to hurt me. She does nothing but make my life worse, and she claims that she's at wit's end trying to save me, when all she does is make my life worse, and occasionally she'll send me money. That doesn't sound like a healer or a good person. That sounds like a sick freak hiding in a child, pretending to be a child. There you go. So yeah, Hank started dropping kindness and compassion videos. What the ritual is, they feel like they can take you away from you by making you feel like you're not you, and then they start to act like you, and they hope that they can do it long enough that it completely changes them and they become you. So if they feel like, if God has a blessing for you that you might not be able to see or recognize because you're dealing with all this stuff, you don't realize that there's a beautiful blessing hovering over your head, this beautiful light. You don't see it, but other people can see it. They could feel it. They could feel the electromagnetic change. They could see the light on you. They could feel it from miles away. I could feel it from hundreds of miles away. I could feel it outside of space and time. So there's a force that feels that, and they feel like as long as, if they could cut you off from that, they want to magnetize it to them and then hold it as long as they can and convert it through sexual rituals, reputation changes. So they'll hurt you, then they'll do a joyride around town, which is why cops do things like buy people coffees. Or as soon as they pull somebody over and really dominate them and they feel all the energy of what they just stole from that aspect of the community. Let's say that all these trees have been feeding nutrients to this tree to help it grow. So it had a huge boost of energy. And then I chopped this tree down. I drank all the sap, all the energy's in me. Now I'm going to go and talk to all the high schoolers who have the fresh, youthful energy, and I'm going to go try to flirt with them and see if I can try my luck. Maybe one of them will fuck me. That's what they do, the cops. So the girls get creeped out. Sometimes devils possess them. They engage in the conversation. They start to build the relationship. And usually I would hope that spirit and all of our ancestors and everything is watching, and they just set a play against that, let them have it for a little bit, and then shut them down completely in a way that rewards the person they hurt to showcase God's grace. Thank you. I've pretty much given up at this point. I don't know. What kind of bird? Oh, it's a woodpecker. So the woodpeckers symbolize danger, and it did fly left to right. It's doing his little dance. He's doing his little dance. They say when the birds dance for you, it's very mystical. The bird will not dance for you. The woodpecker does not want to be in your presence. But I guess woodpeckers warn of danger. I don't know. After the point was, I posted about Washburn and what he was doing. I was really getting people involved. I had so many comments, just building up a bunch of fat white old people being the meanest you've ever seen. So mean. Trying to trash me, steal the energy, all that shit. I got hundreds of comments. People were threatening me. Like vicious dogs were trying to maul me for speaking out against law enforcement. when I was just trying to hold them accountable for what they did. And I was trying to say that, like, in 2019, if that town had heard a story about a cop hitting a woman for no reason, a male cop hitting a woman for no reason, the whole town would be in an uproar. They would have got the cop fired, and it would have made the news. Now they're celebrating it, and they're encouraging that people go outside of the law to do it. They're actually working as a community to do that to as many people as possible. Because they're convinced that tax dollars are real. We know that they're Freemasons. We know that they're billionaires. We know that they rape children on an island. They put it right in our face. But they also believe that the percentage of money that they take from us is given back to the community, and not just a sneaky way to make sure that we'll never be able to afford anything, and that we waste our youth and our life and all of our energy and our destiny. Cognitive dissonance at its finest. People know that our leaders are Freemasons that worship Saturn, but they believe that the money they take from us is reinvested into the community. No. The money that's awarded to the homeless people are a preventative measure to stop them from leaving society completely and building their own. If the government didn't coddle us and give us benefits, if the government didn't give me benefits, if I had to fight for food, knowing I don't want a job in a society that did all this to me, the society that hurt me my whole life, that killed my family forever. My whole life will be ruined by corrupt cops when I was 9. And you expect me to work, to pay taxes, to pay those people. But if they didn't give me food stamps, and do all this spell work to keep me attached and make it completely impossible to survive with properties and trespasses and danger zones and no free outlets and curfews for parks and attacking panhandlers, I know I'd be an amazing leader. How easy would it be to go? I think the devil knows this too. I think the devil knows if I had an e-bike, I would have taken over the whole state by now. With content, interviews, momentum, building an army out of homeless people and nomads, taking a plot of land and building a rebellion. Because Casey down at Capstone has been getting vicious. I've been asking her about, for months, I've been trying to get her to get me in touch with someone who will give me an e-bike with Medicaid. With my Vermont Medicaid, he has given people an e-bike. He would give me a computer and an e-bike. But every time I ask her, she shuts down, like does not compute, and she gets vicious. I'm like, hey, can you connect me? Can you give me the guy's phone number for Medicaid? And she goes, his name's Tanner. She starts, now when I'm sitting in a room talking to the other person, she gets up and starts posturing at me. She took the cop side. So I told you that there's a business that has been lying about me. At first, they told me I wasn't welcome. Then I came back, kept buying things, spending money at the business. Then they got in my face and pressed me a couple times, and I just laughed it off. Then I came in, and she told the cops I threatened to kill her with a hatchet when I told her, please stop being prejudiced. I left, and she told them I threatened to kill her with a hatchet, and I pulled it out and brandished my weapon at her. Then they lied about me stealing from their property after I was trespassed. Then I've just been passing by on the main road, that big interstate, passing by the gas station to go down to the church where I have permission to be at to charge my devices, which is a mile away. So I have to pass that place and walk a mile. Suddenly, after I'm talking about holding these police accountable on Facebook, and I'm tagging the state police and telling them, look what Brattleboro's doing there, baiting people with PTSD using escalation tactics, going the complete opposite of their training to antagonize and instigate reactions that they can deem disorderly. They know right where the line is, so they'll just keep pressuring them until they do just enough that they can arrest them for disorderly. Then in the arrest, they make it so scary and difficult and weird, and they do sneaky ways to hurt them, or like tug at their hair when they're pulling their hood off and stuff like that to make them mad, so that hopefully they resist. And even just what I did, they just grabbed me out of nowhere, didn't say anything, and I said, what are you doing? I just have my arms up like this, crucified position. I said, just talk to me. I'm right here. What are you doing? Look at yourselves. And then they emptied a whole can of mace in my face. They didn't wash my eyes, and they left me in jail for 3 days. They slandered me on the news. I got ran out of my hometown like a pack of wild dogs at the sight of anything to do with an arrest. No matter how unfair it was, they never believed that law enforcement are weapons of corporate interest. Because my mom lied. What else? Yeah, they didn't wash my eyes, so I was in there. I didn't sleep for 2 days, and I had pepper spray in my eyes for over 48 hours, and I couldn't get it out. I tried to cry it out. I tried to do the water. I didn't put my face in the toilet bowl, so I guess it's my fault, right? I screamed. I went, ah! I screamed until, yeah, my mom is a parasite. But I screamed until the lieutenant hit the button and said, can I help you? And I said, you didn't wash my eyes. And he said, I'll get to you when I get to you. And then he never came. I don't think I ate for those 2 days either. And then they put me in front of the judge, who is a practicing Freemason that does satanic spell work. And he lets pedophiles go, but tortures people that he feels the energy off of so that he could take it for himself. And he's just cackling in the courtroom, showing off that he can do it in front of everybody. Sometimes God will bless me, and I'll enter the court meeting, and I can see that he literally can't function because I have this shining, holy, divine light emanating off of me. I can see him struggling to even speak, like he's just a broken robot. And then he would start talking shit about me. His words were vicious. He was trying to attack the women in the room. My female public defender, he was trying to beat down to try to take power from through domination. Because his ego was getting destroyed by my grace. So, of course, for that, he hasn't let up for 3 years. It's been 3 years. It's been over 3 years. That simple assault happened in 2021, December 7th. When it was time for court, the day before, my dad tweaked. Suddenly he broke. And he showed, even though I hadn't spoken to my dad in months, I go through periods where I don't speak to my dad for years. When he's drunk, I don't answer. He called the cops and said that I was suicidal when he hadn't spoken to me in months. He just needed control under the guise of being a savior. He was trying to scare me. So he had the police break into my house, my apartment. And the cop was sick. He coughed and sneezed on my bed. And then I woke up with a 102-degree fever. I rarely get sick, but when I get sick, I get sick. Like last year, I had 103 for like 2 weeks because I was living outside in the middle of winter in sub-zero, and I was only eating McDonald's, so I could see that, and I was only getting like an hour of sleep at night, so I could see that. I'm starting to think, I don't know what happened last year where I got so sick I couldn't move here. I think it was either drinking the river water or I got bit by a brown recluse. Or I got Lyme's disease. At one point I did have like 5 or 6 ticks on my back. I remember waking up and I had 5 big splats of blood because I rolled over onto the ticks. What was the whole point? Oh yeah, the state police. After I was talking about Washburn, the next day I go to Capstone, and the woman that I feel is possessed by the devil, she was an ex-addict. Her name is Casey. She seems great, and then anyone that's in my vicinity. So I will meditate, get the sunlight, do the work, and I'm vibrating at this high frequency. I feel my destiny is just like the next moment could be the moment that changes the entire world. And then it doesn't matter who. It's just like every time I'm about to rise up to another stepping stone in my journey and escape the cycle, I'm tested. It doesn't matter who it is. Anyone that's around me at all gets consumed by something that attacks me. So it just made sense that the better I got at making music, the more Casey started coveting my stuff. She was just getting aggressive with me. She started to get really aggressive at times. Like just emotionally. And then her dreams died. She had all these huge plans. She was fighting for a better tomorrow for everyone. And God sent me here to save them all. I had all the answers. But I saw them just slowly get more and more jealous and starting to act like my judge, just not functioning. And I'm just there ready. Opportunities are right there. And then they started to sabotage everything I did and make it worse until I felt drained and empty, and I still feel drained and empty. And I know that they did it. It's spell work in a way that tries to redirect. So instead of what I can usually do in isolation, which is collect and grow, they have me stuck. So it's like all the blessings that come in, it's like I can't hold it in anymore. It's going somewhere else. That's what they're doing, trying to reroute and steal my blessings. So talked about Washburn. I went to Capstone the next day, and then Casey came barreling in and said, the same exact way that the cop that tortured me with the mace, choking me out, all that, the same pose that the guy makes, the fat little dick loser, the way he stands, the way his accent is a little bit, and the things he says, that darkness was in her. It had body jumped to attack me, like my tarot reader said it was going to. And she said, "What were you doing behind the barn?" The state police called me about what you were doing. It had rained for a week. I'd never left the cabin. The times I did leave the cabin, I walked all the way into town. I never stopped. Not even, I would go into McDonald's and get a soda and leave. I wouldn't stay there. The gas station lied and said that I sat behind their gas station, just standing there, sitting on a bench for hours. They said for the whole day I was there. But clearly they could see me walking on the camera if they cared to look. If they cared, instead of calling me and asking me if I was there, she immediately tried to bait me into admitting I did something I didn't. They were already proceeding with charges when they had it wasn't me. I don't know who it was or if it was even real. I called the business that said that I was there, and they said there wasn't even anybody there. Which means that they saw what I said about a cop trying to hold him accountable for beating a defenseless woman almost to death, and then using the local news to encourage people to hurt her further just for standing up to someone that was mean to her on the bus for how she looked. The cop that beat her almost to death, he tried to kill her accidentally. He did the closest thing he could do to killing her and having it be an accident. They lay their body weight on their skull and hope that something pops. And they say, "Whoops, I'm just fat. I was trying to subdue her." Meanwhile, 6 of them will pile drive somebody's teeth into the curb. They'll grab a guy by his torso. 6 of them will pick him up, and then all 6 of them will fall so that his head, they're trying to break his neck on the curb. I've got testimonies. Like, cops have just flat out told me. Cops on the police force have told me that's what they're doing. They're trying to accidentally start killing them. And every day they're working their process better to get the maximum amount of damage to people they don't like, purely because they've given up on a sick society founded on raping indigenous children. We know that sex trafficking is the biggest industry in the world. You don't think that every government has a little bit of toe dipped in? They're absolutely coordinating. They can do it from an app now. This is where all the cops are. So they know exactly where to move their cars in and out of the state to transfer lots of drugs and probably kidnap children. I'm seeing missing people have come. There's a lot more missing people. It's growing since COVID. You know what I'm saying? So the state police manufactured a crime to threaten me. And they called my capstone worker when they know they all have my phone number. Isn't it weird how cowardice they have to be? How many times have you seen them now come at me through ambushing me, sneak attacks, trying to get me to behave disorderly, trying to scare me, telling me I'm not welcome in Vermont, waiting till a Friday to ambush me and arrest me and try to force me to resist so that they can hurt me as much as possible. And they have my phone number. Any minute they could just call me. Instead of doing everything they've done, a simple phone call for 5 minutes, respect, being respectful. Like, you think you have to punch into me. You can't even do yourself. It's like they're so mad that homeless people steal from stores. Try being homeless for 5 minutes and someone will try to run you off the road. Every single day that I walk into town or I ride my bike, there's a fucking giant truck that veers off the road and tries to It's multiple people. They try to get my head with their side mirror. And they try to get close enough, and they try to do it quietly. So they let off the gas, veer into me, and then slam on the gas next to me, trying to scare me into falling. And they try to beam my head with their side mirror. Then they can blame me, say that I was in the road, and try to get me to pay them. And I thought it was just me. I knew it was happening to other people, but I got to see it firsthand on a Planet Hank video when somebody saw that he was recording. So because they knew they would be on camera, they just ran a guy over. Smashed his head in with the side mirror, speeding. And the cop did not chase. The cop didn't do anything about it. And thousands of people cheered him on. I wonder how many people are going to do that to somebody else because it was idolized, applauded. There was a guy that was arrested. Hank recorded him. The guy saw Hank, wasn't threatened at all. He was just like, what the fuck? Laughed it off. Made all the cops look like weak and crazy. His name happens to be, the initials are KC. He's black. He laughed it off. Next week, group of people are at his house with assault rifles, and they're pointing assault rifles at his kid, his like 2-year-old son. They're sending him pictures. They FaceTimed him with a gun pointed at his son's head. He spoke up about it in the local Facebook group, and nobody cared. They all trashed him, threatened him worse. They did worse to him. He said, how would you like it if I did what you crackers do and shot up a school? He said, I got 30 rounds for all your kids. Trying to make him say, how do you feel? You guys pointed an assault rifle at my son's head and sent me a picture. And you don't care at all. Let's see if you care if I do it to you. You bunch of hypocrites. And I think he's still in jail. I'm not sure if he's out of jail yet. But they let a state trooper that raped a girl for 6 years, got caught and pled guilty. They gave him 30 days in jail. He raped a girl for 6 years consistently. Consistently means about once a month, at least. He would show up and rape this 10-year-old girl over 40 times in 6 years. That's a lot. And they gave him 30 days in jail. But I am constantly threatened to go to prison because I said mean things to my mom on the internet, which is exactly what that parasite cunt bitch needed to live in a delusional story about, oh my God, woe is me. Oh. For as long as she could. And then she, yeah, Casey sucks. Right, Melissa? And Melissa's like, I have no friends and I'm never going to get on a treadmill and I'm going to eat myself to death. So I'll say whatever I need to say to not be alone. I love having someone to care about because my kids hate me because they realized that I failed them as a mother. And the cats aren't good company. When I bully the cats, they know what I'm doing. I can't be manipulative to the cats. I can't sneakily create a energetic karmic tie to the cats because they'll just laugh it off. I need to keep my son trapped in mental illness. And then when that didn't work, they moved on to me. And then they would bait me. Your mom says she misses you and wants to see you. Your mom says she misses you and wants to see you. Your mom says hi. And then I go there after I think they messaged me that day. I go there and I'm arrested. I respond to those messages, I'm arrested. The cops beat me half to death and threw me in a cell for 4 days. That's happened multiple times where my mom comes into my life, I try to respond, and then suddenly the cops are at my door. One Thanksgiving 2022 and my birthday and Thanksgiving I both spent in jail because I answered my mother who had texted me. And one time I was beaten like I was worried that my eye was going to leave my socket on Thanksgiving. That's how bad they hurt me. In the middle of a Price Chopper, I was doing Instacart. I had 3 families' Thanksgiving dinners. I was walking around, but I looked like I was dressed in Tim's, a chain, and a snapback. Nice black and gold bomber jacket. I took my time with the orders because I have PTSD. I don't like being in public because I'm always worried something's going to happen. So I was walking through, but I was like, every moment could be your last. Have fun. There are so many pretty girls here. So I walked, there was a family talking. They asked me a question like, do you like lactate milk? I was like, I don't know. And they're like, I don't know, maybe our kids will drink it. And I said, maybe you could feed it to your dog. And they're like, a dog? And it was just a black family thought something I said was really funny. And there was just a really skinny, incel, white prick. Looked like really skinny, wearing the same snapback backwards like I wear. But his was just like multicolored, and he was wearing the Price Chopper uniform. He stormed it into the back room. Then 3 different workers came up and tried to like emotionally attack me. For like 2 hours, they came at me after that. And then finally at the end, I'm the last customer in the building because I have a huge thing of 3 people's Thanksgiving orders. And they called the cops and lied about my behavior because I didn't respond to them. I just laughed it off. Like the guy laughed at Hank, and then they tried to kill him. The cops were there. I didn't get to deliver their orders. They took one of their orders and they made a Facebook post about it to be like, we got this guy, and we're going to deliver Thanksgiving and save a family. And I think I have, like, if you look, this eye, my eye's always been like that, but now it's like I just have lost control of the left hemisphere of my face at this point. I've had so many concussions and just so much has happened that I just live disassociated, and I no longer live in half of my body. I've just let this half be this kind of dull thing I barely use, and I just live on the right hemisphere now. My logic and everything, all the brain damage, and it's just like sagging in my consciousness. So I spent that Thanksgiving, 4 days I spent there. They forced me to get a tuberculosis shot, and after that, that's when I really lost feeling in my left arm, and it's never come back. They gave me the tuberculosis shot, and I can no longer meditate and extend my presence into my left arm. I just live completely disassociated outside of my body after that. I remember that I was sitting there, and I can remember how I used to meditate and how I used to be, and I remember the way that their energies had infected me, and I've rarely been able to free myself from that without violence occurring in my everyday. Like there's like a demonic force really trying to keep a hold of me. After that, like the cop literally, the cop punched me in the face that night. No, he didn't. The guy that he would slam on the desk, he'd go, just take it, take it, take it, take it. When I'm like, I refuse. I'm not getting the shot. I'm not taking the tuberculosis shot. I don't care. I refuse. And he was slamming on the desk in my face, screaming, spitting in my face, like, you're going to fucking take it or you're not leaving. And eventually they forced me to take it, which is illegal, but I have no proof. Then I went in there. So I was like, I'm just going to fuck with this guy. He just ruined my life. I can't feel my left arm. They injected it in my right arm, and now I can't feel my left arm. So I just said, fuck it. And I went, bum, ba, 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 bum, just staring him down while he's sitting at the desk. I'm like, I'm going to fuck up this guy's night. Bum, ba, 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 bum. Finally, he opens the door, and he punches me as hard as he can, right in the chest. And I just, for what? I want to see your lieutenant. The supervisor comes in, I go, he just punched me. The lieutenant's like, I don't care. I remember a lot more about that night. There was this weird squiggly line that looked like Nate's old profile picture. Exactly. It also looked kind of like an old Skyrim staff dragon shining through the window. Somebody had etched a shamrock right into where I was sleeping. Then there's a company that their logo is shamrock that does the laundry bins. Somebody pushed the laundry bin against my cell door, so there was a big shamrock there. The guy under me, I swear to God, looked like he could have been related to Nate's family, and he was a Virgo, and he was telling me about how he's a Viking. And I remember I had to fight off their smell. Like, often I feel like I'm some type of alien, and the pheromones that I emit. Oh, there's a blue jay. The pheromones I emit are completely different than anyone else I've ever seen. And that's the 33 life. They're saying hi to each other. Where's the second blue jay? They were dancing. So that one blue jay is still up there. And then one of them just moved over there. What else happened, man? So yeah, that was there. One time they towed my car. Oh, hello. Look. A denizen of the forest. What the fuck are you doing? Motherfucker. Oh, look, he's coming with me. He's just flying with me. He's a camera. That's a bird. He's just a camera flying with me. The hills have eyes. What else? When I was living at Oak Ledge, a couple cops targeted a homeless woman. She was like in her 40s. They pretended like they were just like, what are you doing here? Blah, blah, blah. They opened the tent. They started raping her. I ran to get help. My phone wasn't charged. At this point, I'm just afraid of police. I know if anything happens, they would kill me and blame it on homelessness. So I ran to get help for anyone. If you've never been to Oak Ledge, there's no residences for a mile. So I ran the mile. Got to the nearest intersection. I was trying to get people's attention. Nobody rolled their window down. Everyone sped past me. I tried for like 30 minutes. Eventually, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to grab a rock and I'm just going to kill them if they're still there. I got back and none of them were there. The tent was empty. And all of them were gone. I've seen like 15 cops, so probably the whole Burlington Police Department. I saw them come down to the skate park and just tackle some random dude, and then his wife was mad and she was pregnant, and all the cops got right belly to belly, their bellies pressed against her pregnant belly, and they just kept trying to dominate her over and over and over again, and they wouldn't leave. They were trying to get her to do something. So I didn't have any I didn't have cell service and I didn't have any space on my phone. So I put the flashlight on my phone to make it look like I was recording. And then they moved. They had one guy get in the car and they flashed the high beam at me to block what they thought was my camera. So one cop just sat in the car and was moving the light to block my camera and shining it in my eyes at the skate park. So just a lot more than that's happened. That's nothing. And they expect they treat me so bad because I go to court and I'm sad and I'm tired and I'm fighting. It was the middle of winter and I'm just trying to make sure that my vibe doesn't set off their alarms because I know if I start to shine too bright, suddenly they want to kill me. So I'm just, and how many times have I been locked in a place where if I act a certain way, I get hurt? That's my whole life. So I go into the courtroom and the judge is talking shit about how I'm not engaged because I'm not making eye contact with the people who are talking. I'm just sitting there waiting for it to be over, knowing I'm not allowed to speak. And then I look and my family's being disrespectful to me. They get enjoyment from it. It's a form of subconscious satanic sacrifice. They don't recognize how much pain they've caused me, and they survive off making it worse. And they live in comparison to me. So that when I'm happier and doing better, my mom goes off the deep end. She sounds psychotic on the internet. She like loses control of herself and she posts crazy shit on Facebook. Aimed at destroying my reputation to gain sympathy for herself. Like a rape ritual that I mentioned earlier. Which is why homeless people call colonizers pedophiles. And she's been doing it my whole life. And she can't recognize it. That 100% of the things she does is guilt tripping and ordering people around and talking over people. I bet if my mom really asked Melissa and Melissa really thought about it, she would recognize that their relationship functions solely on my mom bullying Melissa into not speaking. And then Melissa just shuts up and listens to my mom talk shit for hours. And then they tried to get my cousins involved doing it. They try to destroy people. There are people who build people up and people that tear people down. And my parents my whole family is not build people up people. And I don't think I find anybody that's build people up people. I think Heather's started. Heather's supportive. There's not really anybody else that I've seen. So there's that. I've been awake all night. Let's see what I have for food. I do feel like a giant. When I walk around, I have this, it's not delusion. My natural presence when I walk around, even though this tree is obviously bigger than me, I just have this feeling that in relation to the bugs and everything, I'm gigantic. Like I feel like in my past life I towered over mountains. Or, yeah, I must have been like 9 feet tall in a past life. Or 6 feet tall in a world that was 4'5", 1,000 years ago. It's just the way I walk around, and I notice that people that I know that are really tall, their energy, they walk the same way that I walk. I walk around like I'm 10 feet tall. Like those big slow steps. So today I'm going to sleep. I've made it through the Ant-Man series. I've made it through Doctor Strange. I've made it through Black Widow, Hawkeye, Daredevil, Born Again, The Punisher. What else did I watch? I watched pretty much all the Infinity War saga. I've watched all the Ant-Man. I watched Echo. I really like Echo. So I'm on Captain America, the Winter Soldier, which I don't like. And then I'm just trying to get to the Bucky Barnes and the Falcon so I can watch that because that's the last person in the Thunderbolts. And then I don't know, if I get money, maybe I'll go to the movie theater and I'll watch the movie. I just smoked my last cigarette. I am feeling better now that I'm healing. There is mold in here, though. Like, if I sleep in this tent, I don't wake up rested. I wake up feeling like I didn't get enough oxygen while I was asleep. Like, I forgot to breathe halfway through. I'm out of food stamps. But I have the camping stove. I have some cheese left. Where's my chicken? I do have I have 3 more packs of chicken. Plus, I have a couple packs somewhere in there. And I have this pasta. And I got a bunch of taco seasoning mix. I do have bread. I do have soap for when it rains the next couple days. Maybe it will rain again. I do have cheese that this does have mold on it. So that's gone. This Robin has not. Not really. Because ramen noodles is like $1. And this protein pasta is like $1.89 at Walmart. So I get these. See, look, I got tuna. I don't know if I'll eat the tuna though. I'm looking more for this chicken breast in here. I've got enough. I've got enough to eat that as long as I eat it, um, by the end of it, I'll have lost all the weight that I'm looking to lose. And I have this. So reoccurring names in Casey's life. 2 of them are Ryan and Robin. And I'm never too far away from a Sam and a John. So when I was in 4th grade, I ran away from school with Sam and Jack. Then it was Lance and Robbie in Autumn. So Leo and Virgo is huge in my life. The Leo and Virgo signs, Leo, Virgo, and Libra. Those 3 specifically keep coming into my life over and over. That's one of the main themes. So Robbie, like Robert Baratheon, my stepfather was Rob. One of my old friends was Robbie. I often get stranded with people named Robert, and I have to work my way out. Like when I was in shelters and stuff, I always had a Robert and a Brian. So that Brian Baru symbolism, Robert Baratheon, is based off Brian Baru. But also Robin, the female Robert. And there were 2 kids in school named Ryan King and Robert. Or no, Ryan King and Robin. A guy named Robin. And Robin moved like 10 miles down the road from where I am now, which is like 120 miles from my hometown. And they say he went full hippie mode 2 years ago when I saw Ryan, because I was at a gas station in my hometown and John Michael walked up to me. I didn't want to see him, and he just showed up at that gas station homeless, walking around. And Ryan King showed up, and it was just the 3 of us. Like, it felt like a transfer of power, because I used to look up to him, and then he looked up to me because Ryan was going through shit, and I had a nice car, nice clothes, and I was making music. Where back in the day, everything comes full circle. He had nice clothes, a nice car, a girlfriend, and he was making music. So I got to, be there for the person that was there for me. And he said Robin moved up here 10 miles from where I have Robin, Vivek, and they say he went full hippie mode. And now I'm full hippie mode with Robin. And Ryan comes from Orion, I think, which is where O'Brien also comes from. Also, I don't know what Lemuria is. But we know that Hollywood gives us the truth. And in The Winter Soldier, they talked about Lemuria. I'm tired and sick. I don't know how many I'm going to do. I also don't want to show anything. And then when I fail, I do negatives. Hello. The bird came in to see what I was doing. The birds don't like it, but exercise lets me focus. And when I can focus, I can start to push back against all the pressure, all the people weaving, try to dominate my consciousness. The bird is trying to get in. He's flying around. He probably laid, it must be they laid eggs. I have a bad shoulder because when I was young, I was ripped out of the car by cops when I was 9, and my right shoulder never healed. So when I don't work out for a long time and I'm getting back into doing dips, I don't do positive reps because it hurts. So I do negatives, which build more muscle anyway. It breaks more muscle fibers. Yeah. You got to be careful with it if I'm dehydrated. It just feels, for some reason, it feels like my shoulders are going to pop. Like I might actually pull something. So I think it just means I got to start stretching. Who knows what happens to your health when you spend all day stagnant like that, emptied by trauma? Because you need to be present. If you're not present in your body, you're not clearing out the chakra blocks to allow the living water to move through you. You're not stimulating and electrifying your muscles. So who knows what biological processes you're blocking? Which is why for people that live inside, that's why they have to go out in the woods. But living out in the woods, I don't think it helps. What do you want? He keeps coming to the window to stare me down. And then when I look at him, he leaves. Yeah. The Marvel movies have been hinting at the word Lemuria for some reason. Specifically when they talk about in the part of the Marvel story where S.H.I.E.L.D. was infiltrated by Hydra, the Nazis, the mission that Nick Fury was on had something to do with Lemuria. I'm just going to do 5. Because then when I sleep, because I've been awake for 24 hours now. The robin has moved back into the room and is now laying in the nest. A butterfly has shown up and is now flying around me. A robin and a butterfly have just entered the cabin. I don't want to scare him because the robin is comfortable with me now. I'm going to turn around. Don't fly away, motherfucker. Who are you? There's Vivek's house. This is new Vivek's house. What are you doing, buddy? You really fucked up your nest. Okay. Giving me the cold shoulder. Should I chew up a bunch of chicken and then feed it to this? And then feed the bird with it? Cannibalism? It's not me, the puppet did it. You fucking Muppet. You bloody Muppet. Heather, are you still here? Did the tripod and the guitar make its way? Oh yeah, nothing broke. Did the tripod and the guitar make its way back to you guys? There is a squirrel. There's a squirrel outside there. Pretty close. I see him running. So it did get sent back. Cause I've been trying to get it. I've been trying to get it to Morrisville. I wish you could get a refund for it. Hopefully they reimbursed you because it went to the wrong address. Like maybe if you just told the post office that it went to the wrong address, and instead of correcting the address, they sent it back. That's nice of them. If you did want to send it back, I have the new address. It's just if you go to I'll send you $1 on Cash App, and I'll put the address there. Like I'll just tell you the town that I'm in so that you can Google it and find the post office, and then the post office already knows to call me. That'd be cool, man. At least if I had the tripod and the guitar. I don't know. I bet the guitar sounds different, and I could put a different set of strings, like nylon strings. And it'd be easier to ride my bike around with that guitar than this one. And then the tripod, for obvious reasons. The other Robin is here. You bought strings for it too. Cool. I don't have strings for this one. I haven't played it. This love is solar power. Never running out of things to feel with you. This heart is overworking. I'm never running out of things to feel with you. So I'm gonna be outside of your house. I'm gonna be sat down. I don't wanna scare the bird. I don't want to scare. I like that the Robin is comfortable with me now. I don't want to fuck that up because last time I fucked it up with Vivek, and Vivek was not. Every time that I walked in, Vivek would fly away from me. This Robin is really comfortable with me, so I don't want to mess that up. Like I don't even want to do this pull up. I'm scared. I don't want to scare him off. To feel with you. This love is solar power. Wait, this love is solar power. It's hard. I need rest. I'm never running out of things to feel with you. Talk, I'm certain, I'm certain. The only thing I need to hear is you. I swear I'm gonna be outside of your house. Then I'm gonna be sat down on your couch where I'm fumbling words out of my mouth. You're picking them up, dressing me down, and you're telling me right here, right now, this is everything right here, right now, this is everything. This is everything. This is everything. This is everything. I said, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. This was this used to be another foot up here, but last year I took the hoe and I scraped a lot of it down into here. Eventually this will be flattened out completely. So I'll just cut all that and move it here so that I can walk up it easy. And then this is my bathroom. So I walk here and I shit all around here. What the hell? There's a squirrel out here. And a deer. There's a deer over there somewhere. Sometimes there's a pack of deer. There's a herd of deer out there. I see a lot of poop. I don't know what I want to do with this, man. I wanted a wall. I wanted to turn this into a fort. But if I did get a hold of the property, it does go like 10 acres that way. So the real meat of the property is all the way up there. And there's no houses nearby. All there is up there is farmland on at the other edge of the forest. So eventually, if I wanted to, I could change on a weekend. I could chainsaw a big clearing in the woods over there. The only problem is there is a property up here. So I could hypothetically wait for it to be really dry. If I had money, I could buy just a piece of shit junkyard beater truck, like a farm truck, and just have somebody deliver a camper and then just drive the beater truck through the forest as long as it's on the property, and then just see how far I can make it down from the area up there down to here. Let's see if the kids are still working on the bike path. Because I wanted to put the camper here. I wanted to put a camper here. And then how many campers could I line? I could put 10 acres. I could easily, comfortably put 20 campers here. Not charge them for, maybe charge them $200 a month. So you guys can stay here 1 month at a time, $200 a month. And I only take in people I trust and travelers. So I take in nice people that are traveling, that need a base camp to store their stuff while they eventually travel up all the different trails I want to build to get across Vermont in new different ways than the way that I had to suffer. So if you need a place to put things like a storage unit, maybe I could put storage units and stuff too. That'd be cool. Like line the edge of the forest, I could put a storage unit place, and then up here I could put RV parking. Pave one road, gravel road. That'd be cool. Because I'm sure this isn't going away anymore. This is not going away. They built this. I hope to God they saw me naked one day and they just decided not to come back. Ooh. Remember when there was only one robin here? And now there's like many robins. Every day it looks different. But yeah, I would find the property line and I would put hedges. I don't know why more people don't do that. At the start of the season, this hole was not here. When the snow melted, this was pretty much flat. So they dug here and they moved. I don't know where they put the dirt. They're still working on it. I don't know when they're showing up because I don't hear them at all. They're completely silent when they do it. But look, they've made a lot of progress. Casey chose to stream on a random Wednesday. Yeah, look, they dug this down. But I'm not finding where they're putting the dirt. They're doing a lot of digging, but there's no pile of dirt around. Last year, I said I wanted to make this into a dirt bike trail. That I wanted to turn the whole property into an ATV trail so that people could show up here and ride their four-wheelers. And I would charge them. I'd put a gym here. And a place to do ATV stuff. It comes out right at the property here. If I had a hatchback, I would spend a week going to a bunch of different rivers and taking all the quartz I can find. Because everything is alive. These stones hold memories. Everything is breathing. So crystals do actually amplify your consciousness. But I don't know exactly how they work. I have a feeling that it's both ways. Like if you're getting energetically attacked and you like fill your room full of crystals, it may make the attack stop. It may just add another thing to the equation. Like it might amplify both sides. Like if you're fighting a battle in your mind and you put a crystal amplifier in your room, that might make it so much worse. And you might start affecting the people in your area. But I would love, really what I wanted to do is take that side, fix it up, and then slide a fifth wheel in there, and then put a fifth wheel in here. Hedges around the whole place. Stone patio garden. So dig up all the dirt there and put stone, which helps with ticks, and it's nicer to stand out there on. It looks like I was worried about these other buildings being able to see me. So I would just put hedges in. Like, I really want to put hedges. And I want to take the Temu fake camouflage and I want to string it up above trees and hang a lot of it so that the whole place is sealed off, so that this can start to slowly morph into the escape that it is without fully disturbing nature. And then I would line that perimeter wall with different types of mushrooms to enrich the biodiversity, to see if that makes it come alive more. And then slowly start terraforming. If it is, like, eventually, all I need is $70,000, and this could be mine. And then I could have a crane come in here, and I could dig up the river. Who the fuck's gonna stop me if I go on the weekend and I start digging up that river that's on nobody's property? It's actually making life worse for the highway department because it floods. So if I just reroute a good portion of that river, because it only has water when it rains. So when it storms, the water could zigzag through here. And then, like it usually gets trapped there, more of it will get trapped. So maybe it has the potential in the future to have this big sort of pond area. One of my friends from high school, what are my ideas, man? I don't talk to the clothes makers anymore. I don't have any plugs to make clothes or 3D print things. And they didn't really want, I don't think they were not interested. They, in fact, rubbed it in my face. They did. They know they did. They know they had exactly what I was like, if we do this, I know it's going to go here. And they were like, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to do it my way. And then my tarot readers were like, copycats are trying to steal your destiny. They're going to do this. And then they did it. But the guy said they were going to do. Like, I had a tarot reader tell me, there's going to be a feminine energy that's going to come in, and then that's going to disrupt the relationship you have going in your band of brothers, and you're going to see who they really are. Most of my life is like an amusement park ride, where I'm just like this very, very old man living in my body, just kind of watching everything unfold. Like, I have imposter syndrome because I feel like I'm a 1,000-year-old man. So when I wake up in the morning and my knees don't hurt. And I'm like, man, I kind of feel like my knees should hurt. I kind of feel like I should be just stagnant up against a tree, experiencing the entire world through the mycelial network. You know what I should do, man? Yeah, I think the plan was last year, I wanted to take out these two sections, maybe 3 sections of roof, and then reinforce it with 2x4s, and then build a sort of, who knows, like, you can, I see people that are selling really nicely built tree houses for pretty much free if you can haul it yourself. And I just don't know how to haul it up this hill. If I knew how to haul it up this hill, I would buy a tree house and I'd put the tree house right here. Sort of add that feel. And then I could build a patio. I could have the treehouse connect to the second floor here and have the staircase. I love you. I love you. I'm not a threat. I can smell it. I guess I'm a heathen because I can smell their intentions. My face changes a lot, man. What are you so mad about? All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to tell you you're a hoe. No ticks have come in yet. Look at this big pile of foreshadowing. Imagine the amount of luck it took for this branch to not hit the cabin. And it just knocked the side here. I think all the branches that could have posed a threat to the cabin's structural integrity are done. Except that one at the top there. The bugs just stopped bothering me. I don't know if it's probably just, I haven't showered in a year. No, I was at the motel. What am I saying? Since February, March, April, May. I haven't showered in a few months. I've got this, trusting. The bugs do not land on me at all. These bugs they fly around me and they think about it. They do not land on me. Hello, Vivek's friend. I have to take a shit. Motherfucker. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. I prayed for a clothing rack and a shelf, and I got a clothing rack and a shelf for free. Also, meow. I don't know. Should I wait till a storm, take all this stuff, put it out there, and burn it? The only thing you're not allowed to burn in Vermont is plastic. And I'm looking there, and there's a lot of cans, but there's not really much plastic. It's mostly just cardboard and cans. Okay, let's find a place to shit. Let's try to see if this would make a good toilet. I think that's what I'll do today. I'll install a toilet. I know what we're gonna do today. Must be a natural pheromone. Yeah. I definitely feel weaker after I shower. Like when I brush my hair and I shower, I feel like what's usually this rich aura has been replaced with emptiness that allows for a higher vibrational structure to form. Like when you clean yourself, it's definitely a richer, higher vibrational energy, but it can make you a bit paranoid because when you're coated in months of forest gunk and the microbiome, like my back, I don't have any ticks on me. I'm looking at my arm, there's no bugs, every now and then my arm just starts to really, like, I feel I get bit, but it's by something so microscopic I can't see it. So I know that there's like tons of that stuff growing on me. That when you wash that off, you're washing off billions and billions of organisms that are living on your body and coating it with a film that is also connected to God. Because everything is connected to God. Check it out, guys. There's a fucking slug out here. I don't want to shit. Because what if it rolls off? I don't want to shit on a decline because then it will roll off onto my fucking feet. All right, we're going to try out the new toilet. You ready? This is weird. I guess Casey's growing up a little bit. It fucking works. I'm a genius. Wow. Who would have thought? Oh, God. There is a problem. That's fine. Okay. Christina, send me $10,000. Send me 10,000. I'm worth it. I've got a month. There's a planetary transit that happens in the next month. That if I don't, there's something I need to do and become. That if I don't do it, like some type of, maybe I have to have an album finished, have a music video and a song. There's something huge that needs to happen for me to change my trajectory. Or else ChatGPT is saying my soul is going to fragment and I'm going to spend the next 10 years in lack and mediocrity. I'm completely convinced and assured that none of this is as real as we think it is, and that there's so much more to the design. That I don't know. The thing I get stuck on is how conscious are other people. Because if most people are unconscious, is that system in place that's guiding their impulses and controlling them? I know that I'm definitely, when I'm talking to people, I can tell when they've checked out and I'm speaking to that thing, whether it's the Matrix or the Antichrist or God or aliens or maybe my own spirit guides. And they're just, I think that it's that thing, but really I'm talking to the thing that's with me all the time. So I think that it's like some higher being, but really it's just the being that's around me jumping into empty vessels. And they think that that's their own thoughts because they're not able to recognize the conscious system that we're living inside, that we're a part of. I love you, Forrest. I like to hug this one. I can tell when it's hollow and when it's alive. Even though that tree is sprouting leaves, this other one is full of light, and that one wasn't. And then the light will travel down from one tree and go into the other. And then they emit signals into the atmosphere that suddenly, when the tree is really dry and begging for rain, suddenly a cloud will show up and will give it what it needs. I've seen it happen countless times where the trees start to get thirsty and they beg, and then we get a light shower where a sudden random cloud shows up. You ever thought about that? How the hell are the clouds covering everything? How does the clouds know to make sure no tree gets left behind? You'd think that there would be like dark, like dry patches in the woods where just there are no trees at all. But it's just not happening. Because the clouds and the rain know when to drop and where to drop. Where are we dropping, boys? Haddly doodly. The universe has told me to make a GoFundMe. So I'm going to make a GoFundMe. The universe is not telling me to sleep, but I'm going to sleep. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to wake up. And I'm just going to grab the shovel. And I'm going to start shoveling. And then I'm going to move all this shit. All this shit that isn't trash. I'm just going to move it to that corner right there by the robin. And I'm going to give the robin a chance to sleep and nap with me. So that it won't be mad when I wake up in 8 hours and start working. Because if the robin is not foraging for food and it's just sitting there, it's obvious that it needs to be there. So I'm going to sleep. Good night. Pray that the ticks don't bite. Let's go. Thank you for watching, Heather.